vote?
Yes.
Okay, why?
Have my choice and my say in what happens in the U.S. government.
Okay. How have your past voting experiences been?
Okay. Haven't had any problems.
Have you ever run into a just kidding. Does your job allow you to have time to go vote?
Yes.
Are there other complications that make it difficult to get to the polls?
No.
Is there anything that you would make voting easier or enjoyable to the process?
I don't know. I would almost want to say the increase of electronic voting systems potentially opening up voting online, but there's too much possibility for fraud in that right now. So the way it's done here and the way it's been done at this polling facility probably is the easiest that I've seen. It's not complicated, and I don't really see that much of an issue for risk. There have been so many systems come out where they've said, you push this button, but it lights up over here, and I've never had that happen here, so I don't know if that would change anything, at least not in this district.
Okay, and voting at a high school, is it interesting seeing all the seniors who are old enough to vote now?
I don't think I've ever had the opportunity when I've walked in to actually see any of the students who are old enough to voting. It would definitely be interesting because I didn't vote when I was in high school. I didn't vote for the first few years after I graduated from school. And now with my kids, I tell them, even though they're only in middle school and elementary school, that they need to start paying attention to those issues and start thinking about what makes sense to them and start voting when they're at the age to vote.
Okay, thank you. Ready? Do you usually vote?
Yes, I do.
Okay, why?
Because I believe it's important to have my say in what's going on in the country.
Okay, have you ever had any past problems in voting?
I've never had any problems at all.
Okay, does your job allow you to take time off to go vote?
Yes, sure does.
Are there any other complications that make it difficult to get to the polls?
No, haven't had any problems.
Is there anything that you would do to make voting easier or more enjoyable?
I think I might actually start signing up for the mail-in ballot, but I kind of have problems with that because I'm leery about the mail system and the fact that they actually receive our stuff on time or they mail it out in time. So in the meantime, I will continue doing this as long as the lines aren't too long or anything like that.
Okay, and is it interesting seeing the seniors who are old enough to vote?
If I ever seen them, I thought it would be interesting. I'd be happy that at least they're taking, an active part in doing that. I didn't start voting until 3 years ago, so I'm 30 now. So it would be actually nice to see that people are interested in what's going on.
Is there any advice you would try to give them?
Pay attention to the ads, read the websites, everything's online. Make sure that you register and declare your party. Even though you'll get tons of junk mail and phone calls, it's still worth it. But definitely be active.
Okay, thank you.
Do you usually vote?
Yes,
Why?
because I think it's everyone's right and responsibility.
Okay. How have your past voting experiences been?
Good?
Have you ever run into a problem when voting?
No.
Okay. Have you felt pressure to vote one way or another?
No.
Does your job allow you time to go vote?
Yes?
Are there other complications that make it difficult to get to the polls?
No.
Is there anything that would make voting an easier or enjoyable process for you?
No?
Okay, and seeing seniors voting, what are your feelings towards that? About the seniors it's their first time voting?
Oh, it's good.
And
a
what
good thing.
advice would you give them?
To study up before the election day and read about the candidates and the issues so that you're comfortable with your decision.